Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so just getting ready to go here in just a moment. Oh, so just that microphone there. That should be better. Okay. Right, looks like we're ready to go. So, in a memento. There we are. Okay. So Dadman emailed me about 12 hours ago-ish at this point here. He sent a screenshot, obviously showing the location of the Kiddibutai. He says, "Oh, what do we have here?" And it's like, well, he was gonna know anyway. Obviously, the fact that he had 10 out of 10 detection is like, well, yeah, he's gonna know that. Not much can be done about that one. So I'd imagine we're gonna see a bunch of submarines heading towards that area. Vectrin, you could say. How you doing, Icy? Good to have you, man. How you doing? There goes a bit of coffee. Indeed. It'd be interesting, but not too far away. And through the woods. I will see where they are. And that's awesome to hear their claim. How you doing there, silly? Yes, we do. We also do have the AVs that are actually carrying the E13A1Js. The Kiddibutai itself is running fairly heavy ASW with the D3A1 valves running about 40%. Yeah, about 40% ASW. Each squadron there. So that does have a nice impact. There we go, see how's Iceycrome. No, I hadn't. I'd actually meant to have these guys begin marching over there. But that's fine. It looks like he's not actually currently moving from Iceycrome, so that's brill. If he's going to stay in that location, that's okay. We're going to march and look to attack across the river. The reason being, I really can't allow him to just go on unmolested. We're going to look to put a lot of pressure on the Changsha area. I'm going to be looking towards sending a number of divisions south. And so what we'll be aiming to do is obviously break open the road towards Changsha from the south. But I also want to use... there's a major road further to south there, just across the river. That I do want to actually use so we can actually march around and then push it towards Henyang. Due to the Kianko crossing... Oh, don't hit. Oh, yes! Thank God for that. Ooh, that's worrying though. Okay, if they can make it through there, then that's not too bad. That was a big old tanker too. I really do want them to get through there, but we'll see. It is in God's lap at this moment in time. Right, landing over here at Carter Bay. Need to take the rest of these guys over here as well. Yes, with the actual Kianko crossing, the good news is, well, we made it across. It could have been a better attack, it could have been a worse attack, but we're there, and that's good news. Now what we need to do to proceed from this point is pressure him everywhere else that we can as much as we can. I believe we will eventually be able to break through a Kianko, especially once we get the air power in operation as well, as that allows us something near. Don't hit that. Oh, thank God for that. Now, what we were doing as well is we had a bunch of like ASW and a bunch of other actual assets in this area to try and really confuse the submarines, I guess you could say. Right, so we are seeing ships in the Bay of Bengal. We did see those AKs last turn, didn't we? We had our sub actually attack them. AK there and wake. Okay. Right, so I've seen a few subs out that way. Okay. We might be about a day or so. Oh, I forgot to change the cheat force. I forgot about that, actually. Whoops. Whoopsie. They look to be doing okay. Yeah, they look to be... That's actually quite interesting. I do wonder if the speed is there. So they look to be able to get in there and get out. Yeah, they're flying. Yeah, they shouldn't be doing that, of course. I forgot to check those settings. Oh well. So far, so good, I guess. Okay. I'm bombing him here. The reason being, we should ideally have the actual tanks attack here today. What I'm trying to do is obviously slow him down, but also it would be great to try and obviously destroy him with his allies. It's also good experience with his allies. But I need to prevent him from getting here. We should arrive here ourselves today. I think even if he did arrive here today, he wouldn't take the base anyway. So there's not much danger, but I want to make sure we have control of the hex side first. Which I think we would retain, yeah. We'd retain control of the hex side due to the fact that it's our base, so we'd retain that. And then obviously we'd have our men march in there. So we should be okay, but I just wanted to make sure we could slow him down. Ideally attack him before he got there. Just really try and drive him off beforehand, which would be great. Okay. I don't imagine we're too far out for being able to attack over here, Lucina. We are seeing squads being destroyed now, which is always a good indication. Yep, bombing him over here, Nightjang. The good news is he has remained static this turn, which is excellent. He's not marching. That's great news, because I wanted to march on him last turn, so that's cool. It gives us that time to catch up there. A couple casualties caused. In fairness, what I might go ahead and do now is actually bomb the airfield, perhaps. Because I can actually get supply dump hits there. That could be quite useful. Not bad. And once again, hits in Moresby. Ooh, we actually do damage an aircraft there. That's not too bad. I mean, these are float planes there. Yeah, Catalina. So not too bad, actually. Getting some damage is always a nice thing there. Using our Liz out here. I'm going to be having the Liz actually transfer into the center of China. Well, into China in general. Very soon indeed. Okay. Just need to force our units to surrender, but it's a major pain in the ass so they can continue to retreat and draw supply. Well, draw a path of supplies, which you could say. Supply path, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so his bombing is over here, but if he's coming in low, yeah, he's going to get ripped up by flak. He's getting really ripped up by flak there. So he went in there for the ground attack at 1,000 feet, and yeah, he got ripped up by flak. Not too surprising there, really. Not too surprising. It would have been nice to shoot them all down, but that's quite nice. Eventually, he will no longer have any SB3s in the area, which will be great. He's been using them fairly effectively. They have been a bit of a pain. It shows you just how much of a difference that a few days can make. Well, a few miles can make in marching and obviously timing of things, really. As moving into PM operations of the air phase. Seeing ships once again by Bellup Island, which is not too surprising. We do shoot down a Catalina, which is nice. Ooh, did we just shoot down another? It looks like we just shot down another Catalina there. That's interesting. Yeah, G4's good in again. They might eventually hit something. It looks like there's not much actually here. Oh, wow! Wow! Okay. Oh, wow! Wow. Okay. I mean, okay. That was actually, pretty impressive. I mean, that's like... that's not bad. That's not bad at all there, really, isn't it? Not too bad. Classic case of speaking too soon. Yeah, apparently so. I need to, like, learn how to time and make use of this power that I've been given. As apparently can alter destiny. But only seconds before I do say it. Sorry, seconds after I say it. We will sink a USN carrier. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen. But not today. Not today. Yeah. Ooh. That was nice. Indeed, that is always nice. And we know he's actually operating around this area. Oh no! Oh, poor Stingray. But I'm actually genuinely impressed that this is actually happening in Rabat. I mean, these landing barges are carrying fuel. But yeah, you'd think But I suppose they're in Hex, so the Hex is about 40 miles, isn't it? So, well. A bit of a pain in the arse. But nothing tremendous. Ooh. Not going to say anything about this particular thing until this particular phase comes to an end, because I just don't want to jinx myself. Yeah, once again. Yeah, a bit of a pain in the arse with submarines in that Hex there. Bit of a pain in the arse. Okay. Yeah, I'm free of the submarine threat. Bugger the submarines we got out there, alright. So there we go, we have 9th Tank Regiment of 5th Armoured Car Company. We are attacking the 34th Group Army, some 6 Chinese call the 15th base. Looks like we destroyed a unit there, and they're sent packing towards Yunnan. So I'm going to say probably that Hex? Yes, that Hex. Okay. We suffer no casualties, we inflict 910, so 37 squads destroyed there, 50 a little disabled. But yes, essentially they're sent packing. The good news is I can now make use of that armor elsewhere. We are shock attacking here against the 6th KNIL regiment there. Looks good. Oh, we don't take the base though, sadly. That's a bit of a shame. I was hoping that we could have taken the base. We do have 1 vehicle destroyed, 4 disabled, but we do inflict 282 casualties there, so 2 destroyed, 21 disabled. So yeah, they're not far, and we're down to 0 fortifications there. So I don't imagine it's long before it does fall. We're attacking Kanxian here once again. I wanted to make sure he couldn't refortify. Take him down to level 1 fortifications, 184 there to 76. Yes, okay. So not surprised. I thought it was a good idea to attack. I was going to do it, well, I wasn't going to do it, but I decided to actually do it. I mean, it's actually worked out well enough because we've reduced him down to level 1 fortifications. We'll actually have that unit in place in this Hex next turn, so he can't retreat into this one and cause us problems, which is good news. And yeah, we inflict some pretty good casualties there. We only suffered 156 on our side. But it's good because that means he's using supply there in the battle. Oh yeah, look at that, 41st PA, 51st PA there. Their AV's gone down quite dramatically, so we can consider an attack next turn then. Yeah, I think we can definitely consider an attack next turn. Well, I think we will attack next turn. And then I can move these aircraft. I think I might retain some just to bombard Kagayan's airfield, just to make sure he can't fortify, but I don't know. It might just be worthwhile just to have them shifted wholly over to China, because they can actually be made use of there, but we'll see. Right, there we go. So 71 casualties there. I can't imagine he has much in the way of supply. He looks like he has apparently a lot of AV, but we're not quite seeing that. I think we can go ahead and deliberate attack next turn, and we'll see how that goes. Now, I'm hoping that we don't actually succeed here. I was hoping that we'd have taken that base there, but we'll see. They might retreat. If they do, it's going to be a pain in the arse, but well, it's not the worst thing in the world. We shall see. Yeah, finishing off Luzon would be nice. 69-77. Oh, good, we don't actually take it here today. That's actually not a bad thing at all there. So 255 casualties, because I really do want to take that base and make sure that they do surrender. So not bad then. So 311 there. Few squads destroyed there, lose a few guns. Yeah, okay. So they can rest tomorrow. We'll take that base and we'll attack the day after. They're not far from falling. They do have full level 1, yes. So that would be gone soon enough. Good. We are attacking here once again as we have no choice but to. I do have 2 APDs moving over here to the coast of Burma. We're going to land in that Hex then and try and, well, essentially just like cut him off, force him to remain here, and we can catch up then. So 753 to 1. And it surrenders, there we go, that's good. So that's the 44th Indian Brigade there gone. I was going to say if that's if that retreats, I'm going to be surprised there. So 472 men there. Yeah, so that is the 44th Indian Brigade there, completely destroyed. Attacking over here then, just outside Sibolga. Yeah, they're going to retreat there. Where do they retreat towards? The name of that base that I can't really pronounce at that time. Oh, they've gone that way. That's interesting. That is interesting. But that's not too bad because we can follow along on the roads there, so not bad at all then. Not bad. 77 to 191 then. So yeah, not too far. They're lacking supply there, of course. And once we do take these bases, then this will all be gone. We do have a bombardment here. Oh, but did we just destroy a unit at Surabaya there? Did we just destroy another unit at Surabaya? Okay. We can definitely see that he's been pulling those base forces into Surabaya then, so that explains why the amount of units has been increasing. But there we go. So he really only has the artillery commando coastal gun battalion there at 82 AV. He doesn't have that much AV. In fairness, I might be able to attack. Wow, he actually took a fair amount of casualties there. None in return there. 66 guns, interesting. And that was only like one artillery regiment. Yeah, the 17th Medium Field Artillery Regiment. We could potentially consider an attack there at Surabaya. 423 there. He's still got 273 base, which is interesting. Maybe. I might wait for the additional forces to arrive just to make sure that we do take it with as little casualties as possible, but also take it as intact as ideally possible. There we go, the 107th base force there does surrender. That's good news. And that is one unit. Yeah, there's only 29 goddamn men in there. It's kind of ridiculous. Right, we do have bombardments over here at Tongi. So what we're looking at then is the strength. So we see the BFF brigade there. The best friends forever there. Okay. Apparently no losses there, but we can see what he has. He's attempted to march north, so we can attack there. Guam then expands, Manila expands, Wow expands, Nadzab expands. Good. So no attack at Kyanko, which is good. And that was the only worry I had, but he might go for like a sudden shock attack, but it looks like he just didn't have the ability to do so, which, as Avoken said so, was very unlikely. But you've got to entertain all possibilities, no matter how absurd, just in case. But we will have burnt off a good amount of fatigue and disruption during that turn's rest then, which is good news. So we'll see how we're looking today, and I'll be able to take it from there. Now, if I wasn't lazy, this is where I'd have like some sort of like jump cut, like fancy jump cut, and it'd go to the next part. Hey, done there, one proud with Erin. Takes care of that. That's awesome. Good to have you, man. Hope you're doing well. So what I'm going to do here then is save it. I don't know why I keep meaning to, but I never actually get around to doing it because I'm too goddamn busy at the moment. I'm actually flaking off from doing some Japanese work at the moment here to do the stream. Hi! So I'll be moving back onto that soon enough. But sometimes, you know, you just can't concentrate. You're like, well, is there really any point? Might as well go and do something fun. And then go back to it. So we'll double save it here. But good time, then. We actually managed to get through that with relatively little, if any, loss. Sure, we lost 2 land barges to a pesky submarine, the SS Stingray, which is being a major pain there. Might sit in Rabal's hex. But it's not too bad. So we'll go back in here then. Yeah. Only should be greedy without time. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Okay. So we do have the running him a little bit. Well, we're ahead of him somewhat. So let's see. He picked up on the carriers then today. 7 out of 10. He's still not seen the vast majority in here. Apparently. Yeah, he's still not seen the vast majority in here. He may believe, and I would be surprised if he would believe it only to be the KB, but only the KB is still a dramatic threat. But this is when we're going to start to see something happen. I can imagine that it's not too long before we see that. DDCACL. Maybe this is like a different sort of strategy for which he's going to use to bombard Talagi. Because that looks to be the same sort of direction and approach that he would take to bombard Talagi. We're not too far out from the size 2 airfield there. We do have a unit of 33rd JNLF, and we do have no SLF, so that kind of sucks, so we can't actually take the base here today. I do have some actual units on the way, so we have the elements, yeah, a few elements of the 24th Naval Garrison unit there. So they're going to land over here at our base shortly, and then we can take that base and I can begin to build it up. So that's going to be a very good base. It's going to be the center of the operations here in Solomon Islands, really. So we'll see. There's a lot of submarines. We also do have the I-18, which is heading down that way. What I could potentially do is put him on a intercept course. It looks like he actually heads in this way and then bombards. So that's going to be interesting. If we patrolled on this area here, it'd be intriguing. Yeah, it's an interesting one seeing at Wake. But we'll see about that. I do have additional submarines heading out that way too. There's another 3 submarines there. We do have 1 submarine over here in Quadrillane. How you doing there, Mike? Good to have you. And I think I'll have that sent out that way too. Just increase the amount of subs in that area. Just make sure we have a passive slash active form of reconnaissance gathering and obviously attack. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and show you that right now, therefore. So you see 3 SB3 shot down. We have 2 scenarios there to cap. 2 Dinas, which is unfortunate actually, to cap. Sorry, 2 Ops. He loses 2 PBY, 5 Catalinas today. 1 to Ed, 1 to Ops apparently. Oscar there goes down to Ops. Kate goes to Ops. He loses a PBY 5. Is there a difference between these types? Must be some sort of difference then for it to be listed separately. But he loses another one there to Cap. And Donia 24K1 goes down there. Not bad. A few of those actually being shot down is always a good thing. And that's the interesting thing as well. I think we did see a lessening of the amount of PBYs at Wake. That's a thing, and that's something that we found out as well not too long ago. When you are using such aircraft to actually gather such naval search intelligence, when you're dealing with carriers, obviously they do have a cap and they will shoot those down. So it's kind of dangerous. It's not good for their health, really. Take a look at ship sunk today. So we don't even see our barges being listed here, which is funny actually. But we hit 2 minesweepers, which is actually rather surprising. I mean, they're very small ships. Well, they're small ships. But worthwhile taking out. I mean, like, minesweepers are great to take out, so quite happy about that. Okay. We do have our subscreen moving out here as well. They're going to be essentially in this area, just to try and pick up on him if he does move into this area. We'll see. It does feel like something is going to come. We've always detected this sort of... There's always something. He's going to have something. We've not seen his carriers for a long while, so something's going to be going on. Right, we are seeing that force over there, which is interesting. That's like a few days ago, actually, when we started seeing those quite often. We do have our APDs here. He's not actually moving at this moment in time, but if I can get in there, I'm pretty damn sure I can get in there to land. Pretty damn sure we can get in there and land. So we can put the troops down here with the 2 APDs, take control of that hex. He can then... he therefore can't retreat to Akyab directly. One would hope. He's probably going to have that unit retreat over there. It'd be great if we could get a unit into this hex. But due to the terrain, it's just nasty. There's no real roads, but there being no real roads that actually helps us as well. Fatigue's not bad, disruption's not bad. Get them marching out. They have been taking some punishment, obviously due to the tanks in that sort of terrain, but frankly, it's working out. We're making our way there. Let's see. So he's... Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We've gone from jungle rough now to jungle here, so that's only ×2, which is going to be much, much better for us to actually manage there. Right, yeah, so we're going to have a march. Set all to follow. Just make sure they keep together. In fairness, I could potentially have the tanks move in there, but a single tank regiment, I mean, that tank battalion, no, tank brigade's actually a fairly sizable unit. So I wouldn't want to send just 1 regiment in there. I mean, I could probably get away with that, but I don't think it's worthwhile risk. I would change the settings of the G. Yes, I'll do that. They did a good job, though. They did a good job, so it's interesting. We do have another tank regiment here, the 1st tank regiment, which is going to be headed north now. Ideally, they can catch up. We do have 14th tank regiment over here. They didn't make much progress at all there, which is rather annoying. I think they're marching. They're probably going to be marching. I just need to get a unit down there. They're marching to 55, 51. Okay, so we'll have a unit on that hex then shortly, which is good. So if he crosses a river, he's going to be destroyed. It's a trail there, so it takes him about 5 days in movement mode, and that's, like, good. So we'll see. Are you going to push right through Burma into China? Yes, right through here. We do have our forces beginning to head this way now to Lashio. So you can see that we do have Imperial Guard Division here, and artillery that's beginning to move out this way. There's 5th Division over here in artillery that's moving out this way too. So we're going to have the divisions begin to push on Palshan in the near future and push on from this direction, which is going to be excellent. We're seeing aircraft out here, so 1 auxiliary, okay. Yeah. How far are we from arriving at last show? 27... 21. So we'll be arriving there relatively soon then. I think it changes into a trail just before last show. Yes, it does. Major to trail. But even then, it's still 10 miles a day-ish. So we should arrive there soon enough. I think we'll go with a shock attack there. The reason being, I don't think he has much in way of actual... Then again, do I want to do that? He only had about 20 AV. I think we should manage it. I'm hoping that he's going to be in movement mode, but I imagine they have low supply. I mean, this could be me and wishful thinking, but I think he should have low supply, so he shouldn't be able to be very effective in fire phase anyway. So I think a shock attack should be about right. Yeah, the Burma Road will now supply paying to China. Yes. And there's no shortage on that supply. Alright, that's pretty fun, actually. Right, so they're marching there. These fellows are marching to the U there. Okay. These fellows are ready to move strategically. Let's see. I'm going to have them move out there to Magway. The reason being I want to just increase the amount of aviation support we do have there. So it's a good thing to have. So we're technically lacking it right now, so I'd like to increase it. Which would be nice. Okay, so they marched that way, which is secondary road, which is not too bad. Which base were they going to? That base, okay. What we'll do then is I'm going to have the unit here. Let's see. Have it follow on up. Take a few days to get there. But what we'll do then is obviously take these bases before we attack here again, and then we should be able to force them all to surrender, which would be excellent. We do have a cavalry moving out there, so they're moving out to this point. I can then have them move on beyond that. But I'll have them get into that hex before I tell them to change destination. They're moving on there, so we'll do the same there. How you doing there, Gary? Good to have you, my friend. No tankers lost this day. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't interested about... Yeah, let's see. I mean, taking sort of would be nice. I think we should. I mean, we've got 416 there. The bombardment was actually bloody fairly effective in some respects there. Yeah, there we go. We had no reprisals, so I can't see a reason to not continue to bombard there. But it's good to actually have 2 units being destroyed by that. I imagine those being the actual base forces, to be honest. So I'm going to continue with the actual bombardment. I think I will await additional forces here. The reason being, Surabaya does have a lot of oil. It does have heavy industry, which would be nice to take. It has refineries, and it does have light industry that would also be very nice to take. Resources too. There's a lot there, but I'd like to try and take as intact as possible, ideally. So I think we'll bide our time. There's no real rush as such. I just want to get the units in here. Oh, actually, no, we do have that unit in place there. Let's see. What are they looking like? Shape. It's a fair amount of fatigue and disruption there. Right. What I'm going to do then is have these fellows begin marching out this way, then the tanks. Have them actually move... Well, yeah, I can't move on there yet. Okay, so... If I remain here, that blocks the hex. It can't actually then trace supply. It might be worthwhile to remain there, but I think what I'll do is march over that way. Yeah, Yeah, that's what I imagine. We do have forces that will be transitioning over here, so it's not difficult to really wait. Alright. Looks like that's been entirely unloaded, that's good. Let's see. I think it's major road out to where we want to go, yes. Major this way, and then it's a bit secondary, but in fairness, that's fine. So we can have the 5th Air Division march. I think it's Madouin where we do want it, so we'll have it march that way. Which is good. It's actually here and in Java and safe, which is good now. Okay. Yeah, we have the means to get assets. Well, we have the means to actually get our men out that way. Let's see, how much do I actually need? Okay, a fair amount there. So that's not too bad. So I need a little bit more. In fairness, actually, this task force here, I'll probably have sent back. I'll probably have it put into, let's see. We could potentially pull maybe some resources somewhere. I kind of imagine there'd be a little bit more to collect here, but there's still things we can collect. Even any resources are still worthwhile. Yeah. I would actually hurt myself more doing that. I think what we'll do is we'll just have it sent back there. Yeah, so that can be sent back to Singapore there, no problemo. But what I'll do is I'll take that DD and replace it with a TV. There we go. The other one should actually have the capacity to lift the troops. 6925. A little bit under, but what I can do then is actually put another ship in there. Let's put that one in there. Low troops only there. Okay. So we can have that shifted down here then. It's a shame it's only a size 1 port. It would have been obviously far better to have had a larger one. Oh well. That DD can go in there then. I can head back. Alright, there we go. I do have some elements over here then, so this Koi is going to be heading to Madouin. But then again, I don't particularly need them if I do have the HQ going that way, so I can change where that wants to go. Size 1 airfield. It would probably be worthwhile to actually have a aviation Koi ready to go in there. So we can move via rail there to Malang. Is it Malang? Yeah, Malang. So I'll have it move via rail there to Malang, and then I can have it march to Surabaya. And then at least we actually do have some aviation support once we do take Surabaya, so we can put fighters in there immediately and not have really much in the way to worry about. Good practice, I suppose you could say. We do have additional elements that head in our bad way too. I could have them head to Malang instead, really. Yeah, Malang's actually closer. So we'll go to Malang. Yeah, I reckon by... Ooh, I don't know what day it is actually in game, but I'd say... let's just say that by the end of the week, we'll have Surabaya, I'd imagine. Excuse me. We do have a good amount heading that way. Be able to manage that. They're not too far away. It's taken so long. But it was worthwhile doing. Okay, no DMSs hit today. We're not seeing subs around us in this area. We are seeing subs here. And we always do have the ability to potentially go through the Philippine archipelago and work our way through there if we so wish to, if we don't want to go through that way, so at least that's something. But yes, the tankers so far have survived, which is brilliant. Which one was it that was targeted? It was one of them. I wonder which one it was. Nishin. And yeah, she's a Tonan whaler class, so that's a big boy. That's indeed a big boy. I imagine he's not going to be too happy about that. But we're happy about that. So that was quite fortunate there that we did make it. Right, so I sent these fellows out here. Wanted them to refuel, but we do have a good deal of fuel here. So I was contemplating actually having this fuel loaded up on board these guys and actually pushed into the to the home islands, or just somewhere else where it could be of more use, really. They had been sent over here to Brunei to refuel, but I thought, well, have them sent over here. If we want to pull something out, we can do. It'd be decent, I reckon. I reckon we could pull that fuel out there. Can't a huge amount, but I think it's still worthwhile doing, so I can do that. These cruisers and DDs I could probably have head elsewhere. Just one DD would be absolutely fine, to be honest, so I can split off that force there for some other purpose. What I'll do right now is I'll just disband them for the time being. And we can actually divide another usage for them. And I'll go with a shorter range DD, well, shorter endurance DD there, so it's heading back to the home islands anyway. So, has to be an amphibious apparently. Yes, got the APs in there. So we'll load some fuel. I do want to have more actual amphibious capacity in Japan. So we do see that he has submarines in this area here operating, and that's not too surprising. Let's see. It may be worthwhile shifting fuel into Luzon, perhaps. Whoops, didn't mean to send it there. I don't really need the APs there. I think we do have fuel enough. Oh yeah, it's for 3k there in Manila, so that's fine. We'll have it head back to Nagasaki then just for the time being. We'll also take that one and potentially revise it. But at least it gets assets moving. I'll find a use for those light cruisers and DDs. They could be useful in these areas around here because we do have, well, the DDs for the fast transport capability would be quite nice, but they could be useful in general, just have a bit of surface assets. Or even around here, it'd be not too bad because there's a couple ships there that we'd like to make sure we caught. But it looks like we have tangled the majority there. 48 they continue to move out. So 48 will arrive there soon enough. I think it is major there to Kigai, so they'll arrive next turn. That's cool. Oh, the, yeah, those SSI. Oh yeah, there's a bit of system damage there, not a bad idea really, is it? That's why we love Singapore. That's why we love having those repair shipyards, because even if we have no real use for them, we can have them, repaired. While we figure out the use. We kind of have a glut of cruisers, like there's a lot of cruisers out this way over here, and I do plan to bring a lot of them back. I plan to bring a lot of the actual assets back from Rangoon, because we don't really have a need for it. Had we actually been contemplating pushing further out to Bay Bengal, then potentially so. I think it's still worthwhile to maintain a couple of heavy cruisers down here, because, well, but then again, is it? Maybe, maybe not. Air power. Definitely, we need to maintain at least a good standard of air power out here. Do we need surface protection? It doesn't hurt to have surface protection. But I don't think we need to have a huge degree of it, because it's not as if we wanted to get into any engagements with, like... I suppose we'd have to see there, really. I suppose we'd have to see. But I plan to have a majority. I might leave 1, 2, maybe 3 there. Maybe just 2. I think 2 heavy cruisers would be sufficient enough, really. But even then, it might be better just to move them elsewhere. So, I mean, do we really need surface protection here? Yes and no. Not now, but maybe in the future it might be worthwhile. They act as cat traps. Well, that's also a good point there, too. Yeah. Yeah, well, the destroyers we have there, too would be nice. So we can get those assets moving out there, then. It gives us a lot to work with in this area, because technically we don't have that much here. We are overly reliant upon air power, and we haven't really had a proper test in this area, so we don't really want to be found lacking without the ability to move any assets. At least in time. So we are seeing units here. Right, we're not too far now. Looking good here. They have to now go into combat mode, so put them into combat mode. Right, so they're all in combat mode. We'll say they will arrive on the 15th of March at Nanning. So the 15th of March we'll have Nanning under our control. 2 units here, but I imagine they're going to get their asses handed to them. Not long after then, maybe about a few days after, we'll have Lu Chao. Should be good. These are all bases that he actually does need, like light industry there as well, worthwhile having for him. We almost broke him here, which is good. We'll actually have that unit in position tomorrow, which is excellent. So let's take a look at actual fatigue, disruption of a unit. Oh, very, very low. Very, very low. So we'll go ahead and we'll attack again tomorrow then. There is even a potential argument to be made for a shock attack there. I don't think I had low supply, but I could potentially go for a shock attack. What is the name of the base? Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Where was it now? Looking for 51st Division. Ah, here we are. He's down to level 1 fortifications. No low supply, but I reckon a shock attack there is actually a good idea. I reckon we can get away with that. That's a division in pretty damn good shape. They need a little bit more supply, but they'll get that supply anyway. And that's clear terrain. So that's a very good position to have a shock attack, really. That's a good position there. And obviously we're going to have to cross the river, so if he's here, it's a good idea to shock attack him now. Weaken him as much as possible. That's good. Right, so we do have this unit moving on around here then, which is nice. Take that base. What I plan to do is, I'm going to have a couple divisions actually forming up over here to Wuchang. I'm actually even taking the 39th Division here from Changsha. I contemplated taking another division from Changsha, but I think it's worthwhile to have an actual amount of force at Changsha that could potentially get the job done. I think 3 divisions would struggle, but it's worthwhile having. But what I'm going to do is have the 39th head here to Wuchang. We're going to have a couple other divisions. We're going to have the 41st. And I decided to take the 34th and the 27th as well. So we're going to have the 39th, 41st, 39th and 37th, was it? 34th and 27th, that's it, okay. We're going to have them actually brought down towards this area. What I could potentially do then at that point is I could possibly throw up a independent mixed brigade to head up the road here to join the 6th Division to actually allow us to break through and take control of the southern hex side of Changsha. But what I want to do here then is, there is major road here, but we have that secondary road. But we have this actual major road here that goes like so. Now, well, not like this, but what I want to do is actually head down along that road there, then up over here, and then to this point over here to Hengyang. What I'd like to do then is actually gather a number of divisions over here to be able to make a crossing at Hengyang. So what we're going to try to do then is, and the good news is he hasn't moved over here, so I'm going to have these guys set to march there. They've been fortunate enough to actually, yeah, practically no fatigue there. So they've had a nice little bit of rest, I guess. Okay. A couple of units will not go across. Ooh. Yeah, okay. No, I do think it's worthwhile marching across there. So we'll set all to this ops mode, set all to follow. But what I'm going to do is set them all to have an objective here on Ichang. That'll give us a nice boost there. Obviously, I'll get a headquarters set up. The 5th Army. Do I want to move it across? I don't think it makes much of a difference, I guess. Maybe not. Hey, done that, Doom. How's it going? Just watching replay. Well, the ASW is doing a fair amount. I mean, this is it. You've got to bear in mind that we do see his submarines day after day. The Jakes don't have a huge bomb load, but they still do have a bomb load. They're gaining experience, so eventually we will start to see attacks actually taking place more and more often. But frankly, even if we're not seeing that in the short term, it's still good to actually know where they are. Submarines are particularly interested in this game. They are oddly tanky. It's kind of blurred today. It's kind of weird. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I mean, I haven't changed anything, so I'm not sure on that one. I haven't changed anything, so I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, it's a pretty beat-up regimen there, but it's still useful. They can all be recovered in time. Looks like the bitrate is lower. That's weird. Well, I'll take a look at that one afterwards. I'd have to take a look at that guide again. I don't know why it'd be lower. I'm not too sure about that one, so I haven't changed anything. But I'll take that one. Take a look at that one afterwards. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Well, oh no, it's good to let me know. It's good to let me know. No, I'll have to leave it until next time. The issue is if I do that, then it breaks the stream up, I think. I don't know recording it, so... Yeah, okay, that's good to know. I'll take a look at that after the stream, but I don't know why it'd be lower, but maybe something's just changed all of a sudden. Alright. Thank you for letting me know, though. Tempted to actually order a bombardment here against 6-6 core, just to put some pressure on, really. Right, so let's take a look over here at Kienko. This is one we've been wanting to look at. Oh, yeah. So we've dropped off quite a lot of fatigue there. A good chunk of disruption has been dropped off. It'll take a little bit of time to drop that off entirely. Oh, God, this is why I need mods in here. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, dear. Well, we are dropping that fatigue and disruption, which is nice. So we're at 1822 AV. Yeah, give you... Okay. Yeah, why not? I can't see what goes wrong. Yeah, pretty trustworthy. How do I make you... How do I do this? There they are. What am I? Thank you very much. See, it's helpful when people actually know how to use modern day things such as Twitch, because I don't. Thanks to Voken, that's much appreciated there. Yeah, so as I said earlier, and as Voken is here now, it was unlikely they would attack, and it's good that he didn't. But I imagine that says a lot about the state he's in as well. Interestingly enough, we're not seeing any units march from Changsha. We do have good detection here now, Chengdu. We do have good detection here at Chungking as well, so that's good to see. Still seeing the 33 units there. Yeah, I think I might potentially go ahead and just order bombardments now daily. Yeah, 29. It's... See, this is it. It's like as was pointed out at some point in the past, they're probably I-15s and stuff like that. Oh... That was marching. It's kind of... Yeah, so we managed to get the units that were there, but he got another 5 in there. But we have our units here now anyway. Yeah, see, that's the worry there, is that it is the Flying Tigers. That's my big worry. I think I can go ahead and actually order a deliberate attack, frankly. We do have... Yeah, we control the Hex side. What I can do then is actually move in the armored units here. And then we'll super definitely have control of that. And we should be able to destroy him in that Hex then. Maybe... Do I wait a day? Maybe I wait a day. If I wait a day, these arrive in here. The 37th Division arrives. And then I can attack with all of them at once. I'll put them into defense for now. Though actually saying that... I don't think a day hurts me. I'll give it a day. Give it one day. That allows the armored units to get in here to Kunchang, allows the division to get into Kunchang as well, and then I can actually attack with all of them. I could even make it like, yeah, we can attack. He's trapped in the Hex. He should be destroyed at that point, then. Should be forced to surrender. He does have these annoying units over here, which have been a pain in the arse. But yeah, not too bad. We'll have to have something just to deal with them in the future, but not too bad. They could eventually just wither away on the Vine as well, so there's a possibility too. Right, okay, so we're closing in now on our next objective, which is Hami. After Hami, we then are moving on towards Runchi, which is the proper objective out here in the north. Wasu would be nice to take as well, because it is actually good terrain. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. And it's much easier to do that, as Infinite Monkey says, than to just send a unit there. There's no random roads out that way. No roads this way. There were roads here, so that one could be dealt with by armoured, potentially, quite quickly. But I'm going to have the armour move out this way. I think that's a better idea. We do have a 5th Tank Regiment heading towards Kyanko, which is not too far. We do have an additional artillery unit heading there towards Kyanko. What I want to do... there we go. Armoured car moving there as well. So we're going to go ahead and move armoured units out this way. And I think that's going to be the way that we actually do... really cause him some serious problems. He does have a AT unit, but I think if we bombard, I can't say there's really a reason to not bombard at this point in time. There we are. Can contemplate potentially using the Salles now. Start hitting the airfield. Let's see. I'm going to begin to expand the airfield here. Just need to get more aviation up this way. That's all we need there. But it'd be very intriguing to see how the bombardment goes. I mean, he's going to have supply being burnt during that too, as he'll have counter-bombardment. But he is going to take casualties, I'd imagine. We should be able to just... we should be able to ravage him there. What I'll do, though, is actually... let's take a look, because we do have varied artillery units. So I'll sort by load cost. 90mm mortars, I think what I'm going to do is restrict it to howitzers then, perhaps. Mountain guns. I'd have to check the range of them, but I think they should have sufficient range to be outside general reprisal. Actually, no. I think 75 should be okay. I just want to avoid having mortars like this. I think, yeah, the 90mm, I don't know. I think he'd be using like 80mm mortars, but I think he has some artillery pieces, but I don't want them to, because a lot of those cores will actually have mortars. So I don't want his cores to actually be able to use their mortars. I'd just rather hit him with something that he can't really hit back at, really. So things like this are great. Let's go through like that. I have a hate-hate relationship with the arrows. It never seems to go to what I actually expect it to go to. And the reason being I just don't want to have the mortars get caught up in that, because those they have shorter range. It might not be required, but I think it's worthwhile just to try and preserve the mortars, really. It's one of those of it's a lot better to be able to hit him with something that he can't really hit back at, than to hit him with something he probably could. But we'll see. We'll see how this attack goes, and we can always adjust it. I'd have to take a look at the ranges of everything to make sure everything's okay. It might be overly cautious, but I don't think it particularly hurts. They're short range. Okay, alright, bugger it then. I guess we'll make them all bombarded then. I might take a look at individual units thereafter. It's a late game. Fair enough. Fair enough. Go in advance. We'll set that to a blanket bombardment then. Honestly, there's only the 6th RF gun battalion, which is 80 guns. But that's a good old amount there. Oh, they have lousy mortars. Okay. See, I don't know exactly what their TOE looks like. There's a lot of things where they probably benefit from having played the Allies, but, well. Just know what they have. But okay. Now, we do have a lot of artillery there, which has been going to be quite good. Going to be quite intrigued to see how effective it is. They get some 75mm howitzers, okay. Yeah, I'd imagine, I think he does have some, I think probably the best artillery he has in China is probably here at Qiankou, really. I don't think the Chinese have any tanks, yeah, 0 AFVs. We actually do have AFVs built into our divisions here. Some, not all. They have cavalry. There are some that have tankettes. Yeah, we have some tankettes there. A couple more tankettes there. Well, that's a few more tankettes there, 17. Armoured cars and tankettes. We do have armoured units moving out that way. Some more substantial tanks. So we'll increase the amount of AFVs that we do have at Qiankou over time, which should be quite nice. Okay. I do have another aviation unit moving north, which is nice. Well, technically 2 aviation units. Which is just a sound detector. But still, better to have it with the unit and then it doesn't get blue lost. Have another 24 aviation support there, but having those additional engineers is a good thing. Excuse me. I bet it must be quite amusing to be an SLF unit so far inland, in the mountains. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Once we get sufficient numbers built up over here, I'm going to be very intrigued to see how the artillery goes. We're going to look towards getting the actual sallies rained down upon him here at Qiankou. It should be good. The greatest thing is we're actually here in the basin. That's what matters. We should be able to erode his power quite nicely. Making progress elsewhere, then in China would be really good. Right, so we have 17th Division here. We'll issue a deliberate attack. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. It would be very interesting to see how that goes. If we can get the bombers to go in there unmolested, I'd be quite happy. That 29 does worry me, really. Yeah. I'm going to aim, once we've dealt with this over here as well, once that's been dealt with at Kunchang, then I can go ahead and get those divisions heading out that way. If I was saying that, I think, yeah, but we'll go for an attack then, I guess. He doesn't have much AV. Units move before the attacks actually take place, so we'll still be there, unless it's something else. It's Major Road, so we will be there tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, the IGA Navy CVs. Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. How's the resource situation in Tokyo? Is it any issue? I wonder if it shows you the X's on here. I'm not seeing the X's on here. I think you see it in the industry screen. Wait, what? That's kind of weird. I don't know why it says 0. That's kind of bizarre. I guess I just expected something else. But anyway, I do find that weird. But not seeing any X's, so we look to be good. We do have a failure here at Bangkok. I think that's a lack of oil there. Which is not too surprising, considering that we have the refinery capability there at Rangoon. Bangkok's kind of like, what do I do now? Interesting little tidbit there. Okay, but it's good to see that Tokyo is okay now. Resources, obviously we do have more resources moving into Japan, which is nice. Yeah. I think that unit there is the one that we have to worry about. I'm going to have... there's about 3 mixed brigades that are going to be freed up. Ideally a 4th if I can manage it. I'm going to have them sent out to that area around Shanghai. Just having a couple of units out this way would be great. We'll take a look at Wake shortly, actually. Take a look at Wake. It's not yet happened, but we are underway there. He has detected the carriers. He's detected KB. Well, last turn he detected KB and an invasion force. This turn he's only detected KB, which is good. How you doing there, Hamish? Yes, K-Day being Kianko, which I thought amusing. We'll change it to W-Day when we get to Wake. Because I find that sort of stuff amusing. Right, they're falling up there. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is lock his units down in this area if I can. Attack them if I can manage it. But yeah, we are at a pretty good point now. Just waiting for the actual units to arrive here. Once I can destroy this unit as well, that frees up a lot of units that can head elsewhere. I'm looking forward to concentrating on this coastal area to some degree. But yeah, the idea is going to be drive on this way. I want to get forces to head along that road there, so we can drive across to Hengyang. There's a single corps there, should be defeatable. Beable, maybe I'm going to say. Yeah. That's one thing I do worry about. I do not want those 15 units to actually get back into play. So I would really like to try and prevent that from becoming a possibility. That should be nice. So over here at Lucina. Additional artillery has just arrived too. I think I will order a deliberate attack then. I might go with just the 65th and the 2nd Tank Regiment. Naval Guard. I guess I'll have the Naval Guard involved too. I don't think I'll have the Koi there because it's quite small. And we'll have a tanks attack there as well. Should be able to beat him there. His AV was very low this turn. I imagine it's going to be low anyway, so we'll attack and it'll be fairly good. And then we can get these light bombers transferred elsewhere. Be quite happy there. They're having an impact. And they're gaining experience from doing it, which is quite nice. Well, ground bombing experience, I should say. Which is nice. No issues over here at Bebe, which is nice. Okay. Apparently we're not detecting aircraft out here at Moresby right now, which is actually a nice victory in of itself if he chooses to no longer base there. Need to go ahead and pick up all these other bases in the area. So building fortifications here, which is going to be excellent. Make it very, very difficult for him to take. How you doing there, Dravros? Good to have you, my friend. Got to size 5 over here in Adab. Yep, keep building that. Right, they're moving in now. Additional construction units. Trying to speed up the process there. But I do want to build up this base here. Ideally, we could sink... how far away are they? They're 17. It may be worthwhile actually having them head around towards Rakata Bay. I think that's probably worthwhile, is having them head to Rakata Bay instead, actually. Just in case he heads here. Maybe have them head around, be safer, or just head around this way. Maybe. I might just be able to get them dropped off at Shotlands. But I do worry about that. Looks like it would actually be worthwhile to get them moved down here to Rakata Bay. So I think I'll have it moved to Rakata Bay instead. A little bit of supplies is a good thing too. Yeah, he can't make that distance. He can move at full speed, but I can't see him being able to make that distance there. So we'll have him move in there towards Rakata Bay. Yeah, which is really nice and protected. It's like you have to come in this way to get at it from the sea, which is really nice. Did see more shipping out this way. 8Ks, it'd be great to get in there. Gotta keep an eye on their endurance. Not bad, it'll last a little while longer. Right. Yeah, so we're not too far away now. Honestly, we just need to reorganize, well, properly organize this for when we do go in. But we'll be going in quite nicely. We're quite fortunate as well, because we do have tanks that will be available. I do have the actual division over here. So we do have 2nd Division, which is heading currently towards Inotok. I think I'll have it offloaded in Inotok, and then we can use that as a reserve if we need to. I don't want to have it... Essentially, what I don't want to do is have it move towards KB, because, well, there's always the opportunity for submarines to attack, and we don't know what else there. So having it in Inotok, which is the site report, at least unloaded, it's safe. They can rest then and continue to prepare for Wake. If we need the division, we can have a division put aboard and moved out then. Ideally we don't. But it might be worthwhile using just to make sure we get it as quickly as possible if he doesn't respond with carriers, that is. So I'm going to pick off some ships here. Sadly not. I may just patrol around this area because we know he's actually sending assets here, so it might be worthwhile doing so. And I can actually justify using submarines in this area because that's significantly closer. And that's 35 hexes. Yeah, I can actually go ahead and I think I will organise a submarine search patrol around this area then. Try and make it as difficult for him as possible. That'd be excellent. Okay. We're no longer complaining about supply here at Roynamur, which is good. Looking at 27k supply there. We do have 13k supply that's going to move in tomorrow, ideally. Increase that supply. We do need more out that way. We do have more supply heading down there too. Just building it up, really. Fuel as well is heading down that way. There's an oiler actually somewhere. There we are. Yeah, this oiler is interesting. I don't know if I will have it move in there to track, maybe. Actually, saying that, he's got a bigger prize, isn't he, really? He knows that KB's there, so I imagine the submarine threat around truck is actually fairly low at this point in time, considering that, well, he's got bigger fish to fry there, hasn't he? So, that's fair enough. Okay. So I think we're looking pretty good on the whole there. Making progress across the board, which is good. We're at 16,314 at this moment of time. Get in there. Get in there. I mean, when Kianko does fall, that's going to be quite a nice victory then. It's hopefully one that we can keep on punishing him on there. I imagine what's going to happen here. Because if we look, he's got mountains here. But if I look here, he has only secondary road this way towards Chengdu. And he has major road towards Chongqing. So what I imagine would actually happen is, should Kianko fall, I imagine he's going to retreat south towards Chongqing, which is a good thing, because it means that we can actually chase him quite nicely with tanks. We can just chase him in general quite nicely. But what I will be able to do is actually have, like, Sally's actually used low altitude for, like, ground pound missions, and they'll be pretty damn effective. But yeah, he doesn't gain any benefit, so if we can get in there and just essentially get on his ass, it'd be nice. And even potentially attacking him with armored units could be possibly really a good idea. He does have some AT, but if we can assemble enough armored units there, it'd be really good to pursue him like that. How you doing there, Hill? Good to have you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, having this island would be nice. Just really slow him down and allow our units to catch up. That'd be great. Okay. So we do have this unit of 12th Division headed towards Ankang. That'd be nice. Have another unit over here then. Secure it from the back. And then 66 Corps is going to be in a pretty shitty situation then. Okay. Right, so 9 days, 10 days at least then. So we're closing it now. A couple more days and we'll be able to convert these over to the A6M8s and gain additional progress. By that point, we'll have actually advanced the A6M8 a little bit, which is nice. Looking forward to that. Halfway on the H8K1. Nick, not far from being completed there. Rise pretty soon as well. Looking forward to it. Only 2 months away as well. I doubt we'd advance it. I doubt we'd have the time to actually advance. No, we won't advance it because it's only 1. I think 1 only adds 1%. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think it only adds 1% per R&D facility anyway. So yeah, we won't advance it with R&D, but we'll be in a good, we'll be in a great place to actually produce when it does arrive. As far as I understand, it could be wrong there. So we have about 5 seconds. Whoa, that's so loud. I was thinking about the alerts and it scares the shit out of me. But thank you very much there, Hamish, for the follow. The Key 45, we'll take a look at the Key 45 in a second. It's awesome aircraft. Yeah, making some progress. That George is doing particularly well there. Okay. The Key 45. Trying to call if it's the A. Yes, it's the A, I believe we're going for. Yes, there we go. It's both a good ground attacker and bomber hunter. Yeah, essentially what we'll be looking towards doing is, I'd wager changing over the light bombers and just essentially the Nick will be really quite good. If we're not using a Sally, it's probably going to be like a Nick there. If not like a Lily or anything like that. But yeah, as Vulcan said there, and as Infinite says there, with a quid there, a 20mm cannon, we have two 12.7mm HMGs. We carry the 500 kilograms of bombs, so two 250-kilogram bombs. But the reason why this aircraft is so good is it is pretty damn quick. 252 cruise is pretty good. 340 max is good. Altitude doesn't particularly make a big difference. Climb rate's not bad. It's got some maneuverability, but it's durable, and importantly, it's armoured. So the good thing about it being armoured is we can run low altitude attacks and be fairly successful. And obviously then we get to use the cannon and MG and bombs. So indeed they are quite good. Yeah. The cool thing is as well is if we are attacked by enemy fighters, because it's armoured and actually has at least some maneuverability, it can kind of look after itself. Imagine a bomber that can... Well, this is it. It's a fighter bomber. It can kind of look after itself to a degree. Yeah. How you doing there, Haspin? Good to have you, my man. Yeah, maneuverability is not bad. The cool thing is, because it is technically a fighter... Well, it's a fighter bomber, is they actually do get the maneuverability bands. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. It's better than having bombers which just flat. Yes. The 48s... are going to be interesting, actually. The Lilies... Is it the 1B that we use? I don't know. The Lilies are interesting. They're still usable, but we might find uses for them elsewhere, really. Or just phase them out. But I imagine we'll find a use for them elsewhere. But as far as it goes with the Nick... I think we'd be looking towards... Is it the C? We might potentially go to the C variant in the future to some degree for that 37. Or am I thinking of the wrong one? Maybe. We might consider the 37mm equipped one potentially in the future, but we'll see. Yeah, I know, right? Excuse me. Yeah, still looking pretty good there. How things moving on. It's going to be very intriguing to see what happens next. It does feel like Kairos are going to be making a... He must have his Kairos make some sort of show at some point. Oh, the Lily isn't armoured. No, that's correct. Obviously, the Lily's use is a little bit more limited in that capacity. And the Nick's great because it is armoured. So it just means it's more survivable, really. Okay, before I do forget... Right, they're a naval tab, but not ASW, which is interesting, so I'm not too sure why they're attacking still. They did a good job, don't get me wrong. They did a good job. I may just have that set to... I think I'll go for the naval search. Possibly, I'll have to see what I want to do with those. Right, we do have that task force over here, which is actually quite nice, because we do have a need to actually move assets around. Oh, it's still looking good. Okay. So we'll get those assets moved out to Surabaya. These fellows over here, then they can have a turn to recover that disruption, and then we can attack that again. Do I want to go for another shock attack? I think we'll go for deliberate. I'm not too sure if it makes a dramatic difference, actually. He's down to 0 fortification, so I think no. I think we'll go for another shock attack then, I guess. We had 1 vehicle knocked out. 4 disabled. So we're at 5 disabled total now. But I think that's obviously due to wear and tear more than anything else. That shock attack does give us that extra push towards taking the base. So I think it's probably worthwhile doing so. If I can take that, then we're looking good then. Aye. I'm looking forward to when we do have Surabaya. And this is it. The ultimate fall of Java is not far away now. Once we're done with Surabaya, I'll turn around and actually hit Bandawang and finish Bandawang, and then that is pretty much Java done. Just a couple of little islands pick up, and then it is done. And then we have that part. Right, we do have our cruiser mine layer over here. It's a little bit worrying, because he does have that there, but it's not... That's only 3 ships. I mean, if he's really sending 3 ships in there, I reckon we could probably potentially handle that. Maybe. I'm not too sure how it works regarding mines and what phase mines are laid, but if it could lay mines, that would be worthwhile. It might be worthwhile to move the cruiser mine layer away, just to make sure it doesn't get hit. But I think I'd probably handle that. I might move the mine layer away. I'd have to look and see when mines are laid, but that's a potential possibility there. Now, we did have these landing barges hit, which was pain. Yeah, they don't carry much, so it's not a big loss. What I'm going to do is put a patrol boat in there, just make sure it doesn't happen again. It should be gone by then. Yeah, just wondering if we could actually lay mines. Would it be able to... Does it lay mines and then just go? That's my only worry about it. So I'd like to lay those mines. I would like to lay those mines. I'd be very bold of him to do that, but maybe that's his new thing that is detected, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe we're just missing more ships from that. I have to make it... Yeah, sorry, when I said fast transport, I meant, yeah. Right, they're moving out of here. They're loaded up so they can get out. Yeah, head to Rakata Bay. There we go. Set it to low, and they would retreat then. Retirement allowed. So it's here. It's got destination as Tulagi. It's set to lay mines. It should lay mines, and then we can get it out. It does have 4 escorts with it. I'd have said normally that lacking torpedoes is a big detriment, which it is, yes. But we know what our torpedo accuracy is like, so I don't know if it makes a difference. But yeah, if we had torpedoes, obviously it would be quite nice, because we could... I mean, I do wonder what heavy cruiser it is. But even that is a light cruiser there is quite dangerous, because we know there's the Boise, who's quite nasty. But we'd have to hope that we'd actually hit it with submarines, really. Yeah, could call me an oil, it'd be nice. That'd be nice. Does range settings for afternoon strikes limit the strikes? I don't think range... If they can get there, they'll get there. If they're in extended range, that affects their bomb load. I don't know if it affects the time in which they arrive. I'm not too sure how it works and how it's determined between AM and PM. Not sure about that one. That's a very interesting question, really. But I guess we'll go ahead and we'll finish it about here then. So we're looking good, making progress where we need to make progress. And I'm quite happy about that. I want to get those assets moved down that way, but once we do have them, we'll be looking solid. We might not even need the 2/3 of the division there, but I definitely do not think it hurts to do so. A couple more days. This is it, we're kind of at that point now. A couple more days, we can keep bombarding them there. Build up the AV and then just go for an attack and then ideally have Sotomayor under our control. He will have fortifications, so obviously fortifications could frustrate us. So I think, yep, we'll wait. If he attacks, then he'll probably get mauled to a degree. But I imagine he's not going to attack. Surprisingly, actually remains here in Sotomayor. It's impressive they continue to try to save the base forces, but yeah, this is it, why not? But actually going ahead and bombarding and destroying 2 units is actually really quite good. Because if we can bombard and destroy units, then that's really nice. It means we can actually prevent it from getting them out somehow. That's all good. Forcing the 44th Indian Brigade to surrender is also very good news. It allows us to then continue on this way. Making that progress that we need to make. They're headed towards Lashio. There's a weak unit over here at Lashio. So they've got 21 miles. We'll see when they arrive there. We'll see. But when I arrive there, we should be able to... I should be able to attack that and take it. And I think then I could potentially use rails to move up over there to Lashio, perhaps. It's got a decent airfield and a decent amount of resources, which is not bad. They're heading north there. So they can go to combat mode tomorrow. Catching up to him, which is nice. Yeah, it's moving those assets out. Eventually, these 2 divisions out this way will probably have them pulled back into Burma to some extent. Actually, what the interesting question is like, what do they have in terms of AA? 7.7 AMGs. I was hoping they'd kind of have something a little bit larger, maybe. I don't think the divisions actually do carry anything larger. It's going to happen though, might have had at least 13.2s. Typically, you do have... Yeah, there are certain artillery regiments or certain artillery units that do actually carry 13.2 AMGs, which actually do make a nice difference. Now, this unit's intriguing. It doesn't have any way to protect itself, that's the only issue. But I'm kind of wondering if it's worthwhile to leave them here just on the off chance. The issue is it doesn't have any means to actually fight, but it would mean that he would have to just attack to take the hex. Maybe not. I could probably leave some unit. We'll have units move this way. We're probably safe. I can't see how it could get here, as we'll have a unit march this way as well. But maybe it's a consideration. Having additional support in here would be nice, but we have additional support more than we need at the moment, apparently. But not on every unit, so I guess we'll just have it cross. We can have units move this way as well soon enough. Aye. And it'll look quite good at that point. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys have been enjoying the streams, then do please go ahead and consider supporting myself as a content creator. I am tremendously busy with university these days. Hopefully that will relent, but eventually I will have some time free. The cool thing is, obviously my learning is progressing. I didn't realize how intense Japanese would be. My god, it's intense. The interesting thing is I was talking to a few people that I've somewhat established an acquaintance with, and they're studying Korean. And the funny thing is, it's like in Japanese, we have what we call a week 0, which was before the university actually started. We had a very intense week 0, we had an intense week 1, we've had an intense week 2. They have only been working on the alphabet in week 1 and 2. What am I on to now? We're on to Japanese adjectives in past tense, negatives, and negative past tense. We moved on to something else. Onto the, what do they call them? Oh, something else. Fun. Yeah, head masher. Oh, no, it's kanji next week. Oh, okay, cry. Okay, till next time, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Have a great day. Have a great evening. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.